Welcome to the Diamond Niner Gals podcast for week 4 of the 2023 season. This is Nick, as always, joined by Kevin.
What's up, Niner Nation?
Producer Brad, behind the scenes, making all this stuff go.
Hey.
And last but never, ever least, Coach Ashley Chastain. Hey, Coach.
How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. I feel good. We're here. It's always a good time of day when we get to sit down and just talk Niner softball, and all the other stuff that we've been doing all day just doesn't matter anymore, right? So it's good. It's a good thing. All right, folks, we're gonna jump right into this. We've gotten a lot of feedback from you all out there, and we appreciate you tuning in for one thing. We do make shout outs available on this show. Okay. That's just a standard policy. For example, we have it on really good authority that Brandon Sherrill is a big fan of the show. So we thought we'd say hello. So how's it going, Brandon? Thanks for tuning in. You've been shouted out on the Diamond Niner Gals podcast. Are you sitting out there thinking, man, I wish they'd shout me out? Well, we will. Just write in, say what's up. Send word that you're a fan of the show, and we'll say hello to you on the air as well. We're pretty easy to get along with around here. All right, let's jump into this week's action. The Niner Gals hosted the Queen City Classic this week, which got moved to the starting game got moved to Thursday. Weather was a factor on Saturday, so that messed with the schedule. So in what I think was a pretty smart move, Boston University was already in town, already in Charlotte, so that game got moved up to Thursday, and was a beautiful night. It was a fantastic night in the Queen City, and a beautiful night on campus. So the Niner Gals wasted no time. They jumped on Boston 11-1, run ruled them in 5 innings. Solid pitching from Sam Gress and Gigi Barefoot. The offense cranked out 5 home runs, including 2 from the quickly emerging Ashley Washington. More on her later. 2 from Boo Van Oy, just because Boo does that. And 1 from Maddie Wright. Washington's second of the night was a walk-off 3-run homer to run rule the Terriers. And I'm kind of upset at myself because I had a perfect view of that. There was no video because of the schedule change. So it wasn't on ESPN Plus, wasn't on Conference USA TV. I should have pulled out my camera and recorded that hit in that walk-off situation. I didn't do it. It's on me. I'm sorry, everyone. Big win, gets us started. Kevin, we moved to Friday.
All right. Friday was a pitcher's duel versus Penn State. I think Penn State came into the game only allowing 1 run all season. And they shut the Niner bats down. Niners had 2 hits on the day. I think we had 2 doubles with Cass Crumpet and Ashley Washington, aforementioned, had a double as well. Niners fall 3-0. I think we had Lena pitched, and as well as Gigi Barefoot in that game. So Niners fall 3-0 to Penn State. Now we'll move back to Saturday's game. Nick
yeah, enough about that. That's not at all what we want to talk about. Forget that Penn State game. Saturday, 10-0 victory over Kent State. Maddie Wright getting in the circle, taking care of business. 4 innings pitched, 4 shutout innings. 3 for 3, 2 runs. Now, there's a lot going on when you score 10 runs. You cranked out a lot of offense, but we want to shout out right here, and we've got some video for you on Lexi Winters, the freshman catcher, gets her first career hit as a 49er, and it just so happens to be a dinger. So let's see if we can get the video on that.
Runners on second and third, 2 away. Niners lead 4-3. Boyles will look for the signs, wind and deal. Washington, a high drive to left, and a 3-run shot for Ashley.
Well, that's a dinger.
That's the
Brad.
wrong one.
That is a dinger. We love that up. Just the wrong one. Let's not let Lexi down this time, producer Brad.
Let's get the right one.
The freshman catcher.
There we go.
Left. The left fielder looks up. A moon shot from Lexi Winters. How about her first collision hit? And she goes yard. All smiles from the 49ers dugout as Lexi Winters makes this an 8-0 game. How about the
cool moment coming up right here.
Look towards the sky. First collegiate hit is a long ball.
Yeah, so there we go. And you got a bonus preview because we'll bring that out the Ashley Washington dinger back, and we'll show it to you again. So I mean, let's be real, you can't see that too many times. So with that, Kevin, let's talk about Sunday. You got we did a little Hayes, both Saturday and Sunday. We did a little Hayes, the Sioux double. Kevin, you got to watch this one on ESPN Plus on Sunday. So why don't you tell us about that?
I did. Speaking of ESPN Plus and shout outs, we shout out to Jordan and Dan calling the game on ESPN Plus. They mentioned the podcast at least twice that I heard. So shout out to you guys. Appreciate you guys listening. So game against Georgia Tech Sunday. Georgia Tech jumped out top of the first with 2 runs. Quickly erased by a 3 spot in the first for the Niners. Game stayed tied. Got tied up in the third until late in the game. Bouvenoi hit another homer, and the exclamation point of the game was a 3-run shot from Ashley Washington, and that kind of put the game out of reach in the 6th. So Sam Grass pitched 6 innings. Brooke Bowling started the first, and Sam came in and finished off with 6 innings, allowing only 1 run the rest of the way. So good offensive day, and good day on the mound too, or not on the mound, in the circle. Apologize for that.
Okay.
Old habits die hard.
But yeah, there's your quick Sunday recap.
Okay, producer Brad, let's have that Ashley Washington home run again.
Runners on second and third, 2 away. Niners lead 4-3. Foils will look for the signs, wind and deal. Washington, a high drive to left, and a 3-run shot for Ashley Washington. 3rd career home run, 3rd home run this weekend, and the Niners extend their lead 7-3 now.
How about one of the hotter bats in the lineup for the last couple of weekends for Ashley Chastain? It's Ashley Washington, kind of taking on that new role, that leadoff role. She had been one of the better bench bats for the 49ers, now taking over as the leadoff batter, and she has stepped in and immediately contributed that 3-run shot, of course, giving the Niners now a very nice 7-3 lead.
Okay, so I do believe we gave Ashley Washington some love on this show last week, and she responded in a big way. So, and in fact, Kevin, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, did you or did you not ask her to hit a home run when we were there on Saturday night?
I did, and she got me Sunday. Yeah, she didn't get it Saturday, but she did get one Sunday. So. It's all good. I appreciate that, Ashley.
Well, actually, we didn't really need it. It wasn't really as important on Saturday night as it was on Sunday anyway, Kevin. So it worked out.
Yeah, I'll take it. That's good.
That's us recapping your week and trying to provide a little context. You fill in the blanks here, Coach. What'd you see from your team this week?
Man, you guys did such a great job. I don't know really if I can beat that. But yeah, it was quite the weekend. A 3-day weekend became a 4-day weekend really fast, the middle of the week for us last week. Boston flew into Charlotte a day early. And once we saw the rain coming in the forecast on Saturday, we just kind of shuffled everything around. So I would prefer to play 1 game a day always. I'm not a big fan of the doubleheader, so I jumped on that really quickly when Boston offered to play Thursday night. That was awesome. So we just had 1 game a day for 4 straight days, and I think a lot of special moments. I really feel all the way around, hitting, pitching, and defense. We played really well all weekend. I thought we put it together really well, and I think the Penn State game was probably the biggest disappointment of the weekend for us. But I told the team after the Penn State game that, sometimes you just get beat. And to be honest with you, the 2 arms that Penn State threw, The second one was an All-American last year. They had electric stuff against us that would have been on Friday afternoon. And as an offense, we just really didn't adjust well to it. And, came up short. You're not going to beat anyone with 2 hits and not scoring any runs. So that was probably the game that we learned the most from. We reflected the most on that. We did a ton of review on that between Friday and Saturday. So, but yeah, we had great offense all weekend. We scored a lot of runs, which I think is something that we'd kind of been waiting to do, kind of been on edge a little bit as an offense. And I think I spoke last week just about, put a lot of pressure on ourselves and have a ton of high achievers top to bottom on the team. So they have high expectations, and I was really excited to see them score so many runs all weekend. And then, gosh, our defense has been so solid for us all year that it's something that kind of gets overlooked because it just seems like that's what we do every single time we hit the field and play great defense. But we had some really big defensive plays that got us out of innings. And just gives us a lot of confidence on the mound, like you said, Kevin, or in the circle. Either works. I actually say on the mound a lot. It just kind of rolls off the tongue. It just kind of comes out. So either one works. But the confidence that the defense has been giving our pitching staff, I think you've been able to see them go out and just pitch with a ton of fire. And you saw that again from each one of them as they hit the field. So really pleased with them this weekend. It was a long weekend, but really excited for the way we finished yesterday against Georgia Tech. And thinking about replaying that Washington home run twice. I don't think Ash will be upset that we got to play it twice. I think she'll actually kind of enjoy that. So
well, I apologize for not capturing the one on Thursday. So we just showed that one twice.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. But a couple highlights for me, just as their coach, would definitely Ashley Washington's one of those. I think she had 7 RBIs on the weekend, if I'm doing the quick math in my head, without going through all the box scores. But just a big weekend for us. We put her in the leadoff spot week 2 when we were in Athens, and it worked so well for us. We continued to do that here the third weekend, and she's just been such a table setter, a tone setter. She just gives so much energy to everyone around her. So she definitely earned that leadoff spot again. And I think she's been actually giving a lot of confidence to Cass and Bailey, who hit right behind her. So the 3 of them, that combination, 1, 2, 3, and then you've got Ari Rohde, who's had just a stellar start to her freshman year behind those veteran players in the order. It was awesome to see Ashley have such a great weekend. It was kind of funny. I texted Bailey last night once I got home from the tournament, because after the game yesterday, the Georgia Tech win, we kind of just shouted out the weekend, talking about different players, and Bailey got a little bit overlooked in that conversation. And I was going back and looking at my notes and thinking about her weekend, and I think she's hitting the quietest 324 you've ever seen, and I think it's one of the reasons is because she's got some players around her like Ashley Washington, Cass Krubit, Ari Rohde, who have done some really fantastic things to start the year. And I feel like everyone just kind of expects it from Bailey. So I texted her and I said, hey, you had heck of a weekend at the plate, and it got a little bit overshadowed. But I was like, I think you have a shot at getting player of the week this week. And then she was like, no. She was like, I think Ash is going to get it. And then sure enough, Boo got player of the week today in Conference USA. So I had sent her that message because I felt like it got overlooked. The success that she had an 8 RBI weekend for us. So just really proud of Bailey. Lexi Winters comes into mind. If you had been on the field with us when she hit that ball over, her first hit was, the home run. Watching her run the bases she was so relieved. And we've watched Lexi Winters smash for 6 months as a program, at practice and inter squads, the fall games, the preseason. She crushed our pitching. And, we started the year, and I think we spoke couple weeks ago, just about, you just start the year as a freshman and have a lot of pressure on you. And she is definitely high expectations. And so it was just a sigh of relief for her, I think, when the ball came off the bat and she knew it was over. And, the whole team kind of just took like a big sigh of like, okay, there it was. Got that one out of the way, but she's still been able to be really productive for us and influence the game a lot behind the plate. So you've seen her still in the order or in the flex spot behind the plate, catching our pitching staff, because she's such an integral piece of that relationship and that function of the team. So really proud of her on the weekend. And I'm trying to think back to, I thought Ella Chansey played great defense this weekend. Savannah Wynn at short played great defense. Corey Hoffler has been our starting shortstop for 3 years and now has starting second baseman. And just the way that Cass at first, Corey at second, Savannah at short, and Ella at third, the way that they're playing defense together has been really, really cool. I think we've already turned more double plays this year than we did the entire year last year. So
Wow.
that's been a really kind of cool aspect of the program. When you can turn a double play and end an inning often, that's something that we celebrate a lot. So you saw London Dirks get in the game a lot as a freshman in left field. She had a couple big offensive moments for us. And then, gosh, Maddie Wright. I mean, Maddie pitched the Kent State. She started Kent State, and then Amelia Weirchuck closed it out at the top of the fifth when we run ruled them. But when Maddie wasn't pitching in the Kent State game, she got several pinch hit opportunities in the Boston, Penn State, and Georgia Tech game. And she is on fire with the pinch hit role right now, just coming off the bench when she's not in our pitching rotation. So she's not a starter and she's not in relief conversation. Taylor and I are like, when can we get her to the plate? How quickly can we get her to the plate? Because she just has such a good approach, such a good plan, and has been able to score a lot of runs for us in that role. So, to see her come through like she did in the pitching role, I think one of the balls that she hit off the bat was 83 miles an hour. And it was like a line drive and 83 off the bat and hit the wall square. And I don't know if we've ever seen a ball hit like that at the Sioux since I've been here. It was pretty incredible. So really proud of Maddie Wright's role all weekend. And I just really felt the entire team in all 4 games. I felt the entire team, everyone contributed in one way, shape, or form, whether it showed up on the lineup card or not. So just I continue to encourage them to play together and to stick together and, and to really be as selfless as they can be in their roles and help each other win. When the game starts, let's get after it. So I was really, really pleased with the weekend. And I felt like we learned a lot from the Penn State game. And I told him after, I said, hey, we're not going to be sore losers. They know I'm really big on that. We hate losing and it's never going to be okay. But sometimes you just have to shake the opponent's hand, look him in the eye and say, good game. Like, we got beat against Penn State because we couldn't make adjustments in the box. And, we'll be better for that game in the long run. So, just kind of putting that one in our back pocket and moving on from it. And really proud of how they responded on Saturday with Kent State. So yeah, really great weekend for us at the Sioux. We love playing at home, love playing at the Sioux in front of our home fans. I just want to shout out all of our support staff and our facilities team, because putting on a tournament, people think that it's only our games. Like, we play Georgia Tech, Kent State, Penn State, and Boston. Well, all of those guys played each other when we weren't playing. So you show up at 9 a.m., 10 a.m., and there's a game going on until 9 p.m., whether it's the Niners or not. So, our facilities management team, our grounds crew, our SIDs, our marketing, I mean, those people have to be at every single game that's played, even if it's not us. And I just want to shout out, the Charlotte Invitational and the Queen City Classic this year. We've got such great reviews from every visiting team that came in and played. And that's really because of the hospitality and the support that they get from everyone that's involved on putting on the event. So I'm really grateful for everyone They did a fantastic job.
Yeah, it's really fun atmosphere.
It's really cool.
Sorry, Nick.
Really cool. No, go ahead, Kevin.
I was just going to say it's really fun atmosphere. Even like we were over at baseball, we hear the music going between innings, and it seems like a good atmosphere for college softball, and I've had a good time every time I've been out there. So it's definitely worth checking out if you haven't been out there to the Sioux this year yet.
I thought the crowd was great. I really did. I mean, we had big crowds the first weekend, especially opening night against South Carolina. That was like a regional crowd. And the weather this weekend was iffy. Thursday night was great. Friday was okay. But then Saturday, it was kind of like one of those days that you're like, I'm not going outside. It's kind of misty rain all day, cooler temperatures. And then Sunday, no rain, but it was overcast and a little bit cool. And I just thought Niner Nation showed up, even with the weather kind of being suspect through the weekend. So really thankful for everyone that made the trip out to the Sioux.
Now, I'm not going to call any names, Kevin, but I know of at least one person that tends to, at the Hayes, migrate sort of down the first base line because they like to hear the music coming out of the Sioux and just really digging on the jams y'all play over there. I'm just saying. I mean,
I enjoy it. It sounds good. It's a good atmosphere. It sounds like.
So
he likes the music selection at the Sioux.
Yeah, let's see. We played Saturday late against Kent State. We played we didn't end up playing till like 7, but we were scheduled to play at 6. We were about an hour behind on the day, but baseball started at 2:00 on Saturday. And so we got, we actually had a game day lift on Saturday. That's something as a program we do often. So we lifted as a team at noon with Eric McKibben, who is the best sports performance strength coach in the country. So we went up to the SAC and we lifted at noon, and then we came down the facility. We had some lunch, started doing some game prep stuff. And we were meeting about 3:45 as a team to get started with our warm-ups and our hitting. But I had about 30 minutes where I was like, okay, I'm going to walk over and see what's going on at the Hayes. So actually I walked up the driveway at the Hayes. Kevin and Nick was who I found on the first base side at that point. He must have been listening to the tunes.
You didn't catch him dancing, did you? He was dancing.
I wouldn't tell you if I did.
That's not why I was over there. I was over there for I just needed to provide a little space between myself and other human beings right there at that moment.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate you coming over and making the foul balls fly our way, because Coach Chastain almost got hit by a foul ball over there.
I'm a ball magnet. Everyone on the team that is listening to this right now, they know if we're hitting BP, if we've got fungo going, like whatever is happening, no one stands next to me because the ball is going to find me wherever I am. So I walked over to see what was happening at the Hayes before we got started on Saturday, and standing by Nick. And of course, this foul ball towering, I mean, it was above the light poles, comes straight down for me. I'm like, it finds me everywhere.
I gotta tell you, Coach, I saw it. I had eyes on it, and I thought that's short. I'm good. But you convinced me, because you were like taking evasive action. You were getting out of the way, and I was like, oh, she thinks that's coming. Is it?
I don't risk it. I don't chance it.
It landed about it came in really steep trajectory, pitching wedge, dropped in about, 8-10 feet away from us, and no harm, no foul.
No, I'm a PO though, like pitcher only here. So depth perception isn't great. I'm like, I'm just not going to chance it.
Yeah. But she survived, and we got her back over to coach the game unharmed. Yeah. So all good.
Coach, you did mention this. You did mention Bouvanoi, Conference USA Player of the Week. It's week three in a row. We've got Niners winning pitcher or Player of the Week. She batted .500, 4 homers, a triple, 5 runs scored, and 8 RBIs. And kind of like you alluded to earlier, it's kind of like you take that for granted sometimes.
Mhm.
That's player of the week numbers, and she does it all the time. So I kind of get
Yeah.
used to it.
Yeah, I think with Bailey, people, even our own teammates at times, I think we all might take it for granted, her just how talented she is and what she's done for the program. We had Sunday fellowship breakfast before our Georgia Tech game, and we went up to the SAC, which is the basketball arena, and we ate breakfast together, and we did a Sunday stretch with Eric McKibben before we went down to the Sioux to start preparing for the game. And after we all got done eating breakfast, we just reflected on our 5 seniors and what we were thankful for each of them. And the team had just great things to say about each one of them, and just kind of 20 minutes of uplifting the 5 seniors. And when we got to Bailey, I just used the word pioneer. Like, she's just been such a pioneer for our program in so many ways. I mean, she's paved the way for current players, future players, to really feel like that they can achieve their dreams at Charlotte. And so I think, we just try really hard not to take her talent and what she's done for the program for granted, because, it just sometimes gets overlooked because people expect it. But I just didn't. When I got home last night, I was like, I just can't overlook the success that she had this weekend. And then anytime I get a chance just to talk about, like, how much she's changed our program, I'm just gonna sing her praises, because she's a once in a career type of player for me. You coach so many fantastic players throughout your career, and I have up to this point, but players like Boo don't come around very often, and so we're just so thankful for her and the pioneer that she's been for Charlotte softball. And I wanted to share with this. I know you guys are on Twitter and on social, but she tweeted out last night at 6:26. She quote tweeted our program's Twitter, Charlotte Softball's Twitter. She quote tweeted about Ashley Washington, and Boo said that she's been patiently waiting for Ashley Washington to explode and show the country what she's about, and she's absolutely doing her thing. Proud is an understatement. And she put like a white heart next to it. That's, if you want to follow Bailey, it's at Bailey Vanoy. You can see her quote tweet of just the shout out that she gave Ashley Washington. And I think beyond Boo's talent, that speaks to her character and what she really thinks of her teammates, that this is not about her. It's never been about her. And, I quote tweeted that and was like, hey, this is what it's about. And I think this team, more than any team I've ever been around, they celebrate each other in such a joyful way. And it's so infectious. It's infectious for our staff. Just how much they love each other and celebrate each other. And no one ever makes it about themselves. And it would be so easy for Bailey to do that. But she's the complete opposite. And I just think that tweet specifically speaks volume to who she is and the reason that she has seen the success over the past 5 years as a Niner. So just really proud of her.
We love a good story. In fact, that's what we deal in, right? It's trying to bring stories out. And when I think of, Ashley really got my attention last year because of her leadership and her energy in the dugout. In fact, I think we inquired about having her come over to the Hayes and spend some time in the dugout during the games over there. I think we asked you about that last year, which you quickly turned down for good reason. Her and Blake in the same dugout, we already kind of had that vibe going. So
yeah, that would be something.
But you think about the leadership she was showing and the energy she was showing, and she was doing that all from the dugout. And now here I believe she's a junior, right? She's getting the opportunity she was already making noise, and now she's on the field making noise. And that's one of the things people love about college sports. Honestly, that's, that's not you don't really encounter necessarily that story often in the pros. But to see that play out with a student athlete, she's doing everything she can to help the program, and then when her number's called, she just steps on the field and keeps doing it. I mean, it's just, I love that.
Yeah, it really is what it's about. And, you know, for me, like I couldn't have written a better story about Boo or Ash or, you know, just how much they've grown up. I mean, that's the thing when you sit in my seat, you get all the messy stuff, you get all the great stuff. I mean, you know, you watch an 18, 19-year-old young woman, and you watch them grow up and how much they've changed, even since I've known them the past 4 years, some of them a little less than that. It's unbelievable. And they blow me away day in and day out, just how kind they are to each other, how much they love each other, how much passion they have, you know, the standards that they uphold. I mean, as a coach, like you create structure and you create a vision and you create standards, right? Like you're like, okay, this is what we're about. This is what we're going to do. But it really isn't. It's not me that breathes that to life. It's Ashley Washington and Bailey Vanoy and Corey Hoffler and Ella Chansey and Lexi Wagner and Lexi Winters. And, you know, I could name every single one of them because they breathe the standard and the vision and the selflessness and the passion and the joy. They breathe that to life every day. And I think when you come and watch us play, I think you feel it because when the game starts, I mean, I manage the game, I manage the substitution, I pitch call, so I call the game. But it still blows me away, and I'm in the dugout with them all the time, how much joy and how much passion just all of a sudden erupts during the game when something happens. When it's the smallest stuff too. It's like someone gets down a bunt, you know, someone has a great base, they run the bases awesome, or they have a great slide, or you know, someone hits a sac fly. I mean, whatever it is, they celebrate that stuff just to an unbelievable level. And I just couldn't be more proud of them for that. And when that starts to happen, that gets passed down. So, you know, five of them will leave us this year, and then we'll have new leaders that step into that role as seniors and veteran players. But the intangibles of just the selflessness that they create and the standard that they set, that stuff just gets passed right down year to year. You know, and that's the cool part that you kind of see from my seat. You watch them grow up and mature and, you know, start to do all this stuff, and they just change so much. And they're, you know, I am really, truly blessed and so lucky to be around them every single day. It's awesome.
I'm now ready to admit that I don't even know what the name of the song is, but Ashley Washington's walk-up song is just hopelessly trapped in my head, has been all weekend. I guess I'm going to have to look it up. I don't know what song it is. I'm not that hip, but it is.
Oh, I'm not either.
It's stuck in my head now. So anyway, a few other loose ends. I believe I believe Boo did write her name in the record book again this weekend, right? That was the RBI record.
Yes. Yeah.
I got that right. Let's see. I think
was it 159?
Yeah. 159. I think producer Brad's got a graphic for us here.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
159 for Boo. And by the time she's I heard this comment made in the stands this weekend, and I agree with it, that by the time she's done with that record, it may well be just almost unreachable. Records are made to be broken, but that one's going to be hard to break by the time she's done with it.
Well, by the time that 159 graphic came out, she had already had 160, I think.
That's true.
It's true. It happens fast. I will let people know that, and by the time you're checking this podcast out, we'll probably already have it out. But we showed you 2 plays. We're going to pick. We're going to get 2 more plays and post them on Twitter for you to look at, and then we're going to run a poll for play of the week and let people vote on their play of the week. I have a feeling, so we'll show you Lexi's homer Ashley's homer. I have a feeling there'll be a boo bomb. And then there was a particularly slick 5-4-3 double play in that Georgia Tech game that will probably be clipped as well. And we'll put those out there on Twitter, and we'll put a poll and let you guys decide on play of the week. So if you haven't checked it out on Twitter, head over to Diamond Niner Report on Twitter, and we'll put that out. And again, it may already be out by the time you see this, so go check it out. All right. So we need to get around it. We need to move forward here and talk about the week coming up. You guys had a great week, which, by the way, I want to point out, if we go back to what you said in last week's preview, you talked about that Georgia Tech game and how much you wanted that, and now you got it. So
Yeah.
Let's find out what Coach Chastain wants this week.
Well, I mean, I feel like every week it gets a little bit tougher. You know, we're 3 weeks in, starting week 4 today. And so the Niner gals fly to Arizona on Wednesday, fly cross country. You know, I think when I took over the program 4 years ago, we start building schedules years out. And I knew that I wanted to take the team out west. You know, we don't get an opportunity every single year to play some of those teams in the pack, or some, you know, some teams that are on that side. So when the opportunity came about 12 months ago for us to play in this specific Arizona State Grand Canyon co-host tournament, which is what it is. It's co-hosted by Arizona State and Grand Canyon. So if you look at our schedule, we're playing at both sites, and we're playing some really good competition. So we're going to fly out Wednesday. Wednesday will be our travel day. We'll practice Thursday. We're looking into getting some tickets to a spring training game Thursday afternoon after we practice and lift. Eric McKibben's going to travel with us and lift with us on Thursday. And then Thursday afternoon, you know, just kind of spend some time together, fellowship together at a baseball game out in Arizona. There's not many things better than that. Hopefully the weather will be good. I like to go warm places, so I'm hoping that it'll be nice weather out in the desert. And then we start playing Friday, and really not a lot of time to breathe. I mean, we're going out west to play Arizona State, who has great tradition in college softball. They've won World Series. They've been to the College World Series consistently. You know, so that's a team with a ton of history. They always have good players. I was actually there in 2018 at a regional. It was the last time I was at their facility. They've made some upgrades, and so really excited about playing at their place and playing their program. You got Washington that we're going to be playing, who is just at the top of college softball right now. I mean, they're always in the top 10, 15 programs, really respect their program and what they do. So that'll be a tough matchup for us. We're playing Grand Canyon, who does really well in their conference every year. You see them getting regional bids because they win their conference almost every single year. And you got Houston, who's now moving into the Big 12. You know, we're taking over one of their spots in the American next year, and they're moving out to the Big 12. You know, Houston has great tradition and historically a good program. And then you got New Mexico on Sunday before we head back to Charlotte. So not a ton of time to really overthink anything, or, you know, kind of here we go. You know, that's kind of what it feels like right now, is we have so many opponents every single week. Once we get to conference play the next week, it's like, wow, we only have one opponent. It's kind of like a breath of fresh air. We can breathe a little bit, but yeah, really excited. We set out years ago to build this program, and we knew that to build the program that we wanted and to go where we wanted, like, we have to play really good competition. And so I'm going to stand by that. Our staff stands by that. And we're going to continue to put our team in front of really great programs. And they learn so much about the game when you play a good opponent. And, you know, they learn how to play the game at that level, and how to be really good when you play teams like that. So I'm just going to keep challenging them to show up and play their hardest. What I love about this team right now, and I think I said this yesterday in a post Georgia Tech win interview, we show up to the yard, whether it's at the Sioux or in Athens, or, you know, this upcoming week in Arizona. We show up truly believing that we can beat anybody that we play. And the level of belief system and confidence that runs through the team right now is something that when you're around them, you feel it. It's contagious. And so like they are looking forward to going to Arizona and making a statement out west about what Niner softball is about. And I'm really excited to watch them compete. I think they're really excited to go off and play in that environment. The air is pretty thin out there, so the game will play a little different, which I'm really excited to see them overcome that adversity and overcome that challenge. So really, really cool weekend for us. Like I said, we just don't get the opportunity to go out and play these teams very often.
And I think I looked up some TV for that. I think the Arizona State game is going to be televised on their live stream. I think it's Pac-12. And the Grand Canyon game is going to be on ESPN Plus as of right now. Still looking to find TV on the other 3 games, but as of right now, you can watch 2 of those games on those networks. Sounds like a good weekend you have planned there. You have to look up some of those guys like Nate Furman and Spencer Geeson.
Yes.
Maybe you'll run into those guys. And
yes,
they're out there in Arizona.
We've got plans to see Nate Furman. Actually, I know, Eric McKibben is sports performance for both baseball and softball. And so he spends a lot of time with both teams and travels with both teams. And so obviously trained Nate Furman. And I know Eric was trying to coordinate with him a possible pre or post game speech to the Niner gals. So hopefully we can work that out. I would love to be able to see him when we're out there.
So let me see if I get this straight here. You're going out to Arizona where it's going to be warm. You're going to spring training game, and you're possibly going to hang out with Nate Furman. And I'm going this weekend to Blacksburg where it's going to be cold, and I'm going to see Kevin. Is that what am I doing? I need to speak to my agent.
Yeah, it sounds like you need to get on our flight on Wednesday. We're flying Southwest about 1:21 out of Charlotte on Wednesday. So I won't be surprised if all of a sudden I see you.
I will be on spring break next week. So
there you go.
Hey, what else do I have to do? Right. Let's go. Maybe that might, Kevin, you can have my seat in Blacksburg. I think I'm going to Arizona.
And I'll probably go with you to Arizona if I had the choice.
Oh,
I know. Don't tell Woody we said that. Don't tell him we said that.
I can't stand being cold. Anyone that knows me, my team knows that about me. I mean, people show up at our game and it's 55 to 60 degrees and I've got my puffy jacket on. I'm known for that big black puffy jacket, my hood and everything.
I have noticed that.
Oh yeah. I cannot stand being cold. So, as someone that builds the schedule, I always look for, ideal climates to play softball in. So
you schedule like a Northeastern school. You go down south. Go down south.
Let's go south. Yeah. If we're gonna travel outside of the Sioux, let's try to go to some warmer places.
All right, folks. I think it's time to put a bow on this one. We've done pretty good on time this week, Coach. And even despite all the winning you did, we've still done pretty good on time. So we're getting better at this. That's going to do it for us this week, folks. We appreciate everyone tuning in to the Diamond Niner Gals podcast. If you're enjoying the show, make sure to click subscribe on the YouTube channel. You can also find the Diamond Niner Gals podcast on Spotify. Follow Diamond Niner Report on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram for more content. Never TikTok, by the way. We love hearing from you. Feel free to hit us up on social or just say hello next time you see us. For Kevin, producer Brad, and Coach Chastain, this is Nick. And we'll see you at the Sioux.